Hi everyone, this is Karina for Expo Coronavirus 2020. Today is the 25th of March. Numbers have gone up so much since yesterday. We have now 425,662 cases that have been verified. That's not saying how many people in the world have the coronavirus. There's 18,951 deaths. That's 109,225 recovered. Today, we're going over to New Zealand. Hello and good morning or good evening over there, New Zealand.
Good morning, this is Claire Plaisted. I'm in Palmerston North. I'm an expat Brit and I'm really glad I'm not in Britain. We're just going into a complete lockdown in about an hour and 15 minutes. Has also had a declaration of a state of an emergency, which gives more powers to the police and military.
Wow, scary stuff, huh? Let me get the stats for New Zealand at the moment. Let's see what I go through the
I can give you the stats.
worldmeters.info/coronavirus website. What I've got here, I haven't actually, I mean, you probably know better than me because you watch the news. I actually have 205 people with that have been affected with the coronavirus. I don't have the stats for new cases or any deaths. Can you tell me about that?
205 are the current caseload tested positive.
Yeah. Has there been any deaths?
We have had over 8,000 tests done. They range from anything from teenagers all the way through up to 70. The majority are between 30 and 50 in age group.
That have been affected?
Sorry?
That have been affected,
no deaths.
Tested?
Yeah, that's been tested. We have no deaths. We've had 12 official recoveries from out of those tested.
Okay.
A week ago, we only had about 20 cases.
So from a week, it's gone from 20
gone up
to
because the results are coming in.
Yeah.
And because of returning residents and a few tourists. Most cases here are from residents coming back in from overseas.
This is what's caused it all.
Are from families who've contracted from those returning.
Yeah, it's travellers.
And we only actually have, at this stage, not confirmed, is 5 cases community spread.
Right, got
in the whole of New Zealand. So that's why we've gone into lockdown, because community spread has started.
Yeah, I mean, I understand like Italy, Greece, UK with thousands of confirmed cases and hundreds of deaths. New Zealand, thankfully, and touch wood, won't have any deaths. Do you think they're too late for going in lockdown? Do you think they shouldn't be going in lockdown? How do you feel about everything that's happening over there?
We probably could have gone down a couple of days earlier. However, I think how it's happened has been the right choice in the long run. We have this level alert thing, 1, 2, 3 and 4. On Saturday we're on level 2. We went into level 3 on Monday because we had 2 community spread. This meant they weren't able to trace them, the contact to anybody coming in from overseas. And that's gone up to now to 5. So tonight we go on to level 4, which means everything is closed.
When
The
you say
only things
everything,
open are
I mean
supermarkets, pharmacies.
will be open, yeah.
Yeah, supermarkets, dairies, which is like your corner shop, petrol stations. There's a lot of people still working, but there's pharmacies is another one. Support staff. My husband was going to be working through, but the government decided that his company, the company he works for, only needs 20% of their workforce. So he now says, I'm on holiday for 4 weeks, and he's really happy about that.
What about yourself? Do you work from home or do you have a full-time job, Claire?
I work from home.
Oh, that's good. So it's no different for you being at home.
No different from me. We technically, what they've said over here is you have your bubble. In this household, it was just me and my husband. However, schools have closed, universities have closed.
When did they
So
close?
my son's come back, and he's bought he bought his roommate with him. So now there's 4 of us. So that's our bubble. We cannot contact anybody else outside of that bubble.
Are they going to be good, like not the other teenagers that they are in UK?
They've got the computers, they're fine.
Are they going to stay indoors and not going to go out?
You can still go outside in your gardens, not that we've got much of one, but you can also one person can go to the dairy or to the supermarket or to the pharmacy and things like that.
In the UK at the moment, Boris Johnson is begging for the young people to take it seriously and stop going out and stop socialising, because they can bring it back then to the older people, back into their own household. But they're not listening. But do you think the New Zealand teenagers will go on lockdown?
Oh, yes. First of all the vulnerable people are at home. Most vulnerable people are self-isolating. If they've got a cough, an allergy, I've got a cough, but I'm not contagious. I've had a cough for 4 months. The teenagers we've had some stupidity like every other country. We haven't really had people fighting over toilet paper that I've actually seen.
So your shelves are full in supermarkets.
We've had no real panic shopping. We might have done it in Auckland, but that's a lot bigger as a city.
Big city,
it's the biggest city. It's got about 3 million people in it. It's the biggest city in New Zealand.
Right.
The kids, I think they'll be okay. It's going to be hard on the parents for some of the kids, depending on their age.
Yeah, it's we're 2 weeks now in lockdown over here in Greece, and thankfully the internet and telephones and computers have kept my children busy enough not to be bored so far.
But we've got some children still going to school, but those are only the children of people who are essential workers. So they are being looked after by other teachers.
Right, so they can carry on working.
So they can go to work.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The under 5s, no daycares as far as I'm aware are open.
Right.
Which means a grandparent, if it's not a 2-parent family or both parents have to work, then one person can come in to look after the kids. And they can only look after those kids for the lockdown's for 4 weeks, essentially.
4 weeks, huh? Wow.
4 weeks, but it could be extended depending on what
longer.
happens.
We've been told the kids are back to school mid-April, But again, it all depends. You can't give a timeline because we haven't even reached the peak of this virus yet.
Our kids won't go back until after Easter.
Yeah, same here.
At the earliest, I shouldn't think.
They are starting over here. They are starting online schooling this week.
Yeah,
which is good, and it gives them some to do, but it also doesn't let them fall behind with their studying.
We have got a very good financial package from the government
for those that can't work.
It started out at $12.1 billion.
Wow.
And that increased the benefit for those who would lose their jobs, and it's a permanent increase, which hasn't actually happened for a long time, that sort of money.
Of course not.
They've given a certain amount to wages, so employers can apply, a bit like in the UK. I think it was 80% in the UK.
I don't know. I didn't know UK was doing that.
Well, my girls and my two girls are over in the UK. So we hear they are getting 80% from the government via their employer.
While they're not working.
Because where they work is also closed down.
Wow.
So it's similar here, but it's still lower than what a lot of people earn.
I mean, I can imagine how much they're paying now, because the amount of people that were out of work, and they've only got so much budget.
There's a few businesses which will end up closing down. However, if you think about when the levels are lifted and we can go out again, everybody's going to go out and support their local communities.
Of course they are.
We've got setups for people to phone the elderly in local community groups via Facebook.
Fabulous.
But some of these are charities who've done this.
Yeah.
I used to, I do volunteer for Age Concern. However, that stopped because it was actual visiting. So now I have to use the phone. And there's a few other charities who do the same similar thing. We're lucky we've got a corner shop or dairy across the road.
Across the road, so you can get all your stuff. You don't need to go to a big supermarket.
So we can get a bread and milk every day without lining up at the supermarket.
I mean, over in Greece now, to actually leave the house, we need an official form signed and what have you. Do you need that?
Now, if you leave the house and you're stopped by the police and it's found that you have left the house and it isn't essential for you to leave the house, you can be fined, you can be prosecuted, and you can be quarantined elsewhere. Until the 4 weeks is over.
€150.
And I'm not sure how much the fines would be, but the idea is to keep people, make sure they stay at home. We can still walk around the block or cycle around the block, as long as we avoid people.
I mean, we used to, a week ago, we could go for a walk and we'd meet people that are also going for a walk, because you can't stay indoors all this time without getting some fresh air. Now we can't do that anymore.
Our roads are so wide, we could probably walk down the middle of the street because they'll be so quiet.
It started off with no more than 10 people in a group, otherwise you get fined €1,000. And now it's either one person walking on their own, one person in a car to go shopping, no matter whether you've got a child or a family and you've got to go to somewhere, this is it. If you don't have that official paper and there's more than one person in that car or with you, you can get fined. Very strict.
I don't think they're bothered so much of how many people are in a car, as long as only one person goes into the shop.
Yeah, all right, gotcha. Have you got that 2 meter thing?
Sorry?
Have you got that tape where you're not allowed to go 2 meters to the actual desk?
Apparently some shops have, but I haven't actually seen it because I've isolated myself since Monday.
Right. Okay.
I didn't want to be glared at because of coughing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I have allergies, and as
That's
said, yeah, a
scary
cough.
stuff,
But
though, isn't it? I mean, you're in a supermarket and someone starts coughing or someone sneezes, you automatically turn around and you get away from them. You know, it's scary. I was saying
yeah,
to UK yesterday, it's like um a science fiction film that's come alive. No one was ready for this. No country.
no. I, I don't think they were, but I think we've dealt with it really well. As I said, when it first started, our first case was actually somebody who came in from Iran.
Ah, yeah. They're the second highest now.
And they actually said we've actually got a list of exactly where everybody's come in from and how they got the virus. We've got a list. And as I said, there's only 5 people on that list they can't track.
Yeah.
And ours will keep on going up each day as the tests come through the system,
Yeah.
which is why we've gone from 20 to
200 in a week.
205. It's not
Yeah.
because we've suddenly got more cases, it's because we've got more
Fine.
tests coming through,
Yeah.
all on the same day.
Yeah. When you say lockdown, I mean, how is traffic? Are they allowing planes and boats? Is all of that stopped now in New Zealand?
Planes are just freight, boats are just freight. There's no flying
I don't even think we're having
anywhere.
freight
I'm
anymore.
not sure if residents can still come into the country. They might have closed that off now,
Which is a best
because
thing.
people can't get through other countries to get here.
That's the best thing.
But as I
If
said,
you're
most of the cases have actually come in with them. So when
exactly,
they all rushed home, we
yeah,
got more cases.
of course. Of course. I think
So
locking
yeah,
down the travel and stopping people coming into the country is going to keep your numbers low.
yeah,
Because
and because it's what this, I think they said something. It could be up to 2 weeks before you get anything,
2 weeks
and
exactly.
then you're out for 2 weeks, which is why they've done a 4-week lockdown.
Right. Well, I do hope it stays
Um,
um, off the red and you don't have any deaths over there and the numbers stay low. Um, it's been a
I
pleasure
reckon
chatting
we'll get a
to
couple
you.
of thousand.
Oh well, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen over the next few days, but
Yeah, well, as I say, they report every morning of how
yeah,
many new positive tests come through.
yeah,
We've got 12, as I said, who've technically recovered.
yeah, it's good.
But with everybody in quarantine now,
You should keep
then
the
you
numbers,
know,
keep the numbers
yeah.
low. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm touching
And
wood
we
that
might have
everything.
some more coming in off a cruise ship as well.
No, I mean that's got to be
Because
stopped. Yeah,
all cruise ships have been banned.
yeah,
Yeah, all cruise ships have been banned until till June. But we have had some airlifted into the country, Kiwis airlifted into the country, and they were put in isolation.
straight away isolation. Yeah,
And if they bring the other set in, if the next lot do come in, they'll go to the same place
yeah,
for 14 days. So
yeah. That's good.
it's
The
been
government have
pretty
really.
good.
I think they've been learning from other countries how the governments have been working and using
Yeah,
the same system as the other countries. And I think for New Zealand, it's going to work because your numbers are really low as it is. Over in
yeah,
Corfu, on my island, we have 0 cases of affected. We're total lockdown and we have no um, planes coming in and ships coming in for the last 2 weeks, which means, hopefully, touch wood, that we will stay without any affected cases, because
yeah,
if it was going to happen,
yeah,
we would have known by now.
yeah.
So,
It's
um,
like that with the Pacific Islands.
yeah,
However, they've since had cases through flights going into
Yeah.
their countries.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, was it Samoa has just come through a measles epidemic where they
Oh
lost
gosh.
50 to 60 children,
Oh,
and that was only about a month or so ago.
we're lucky that it's
So
not
the last thing
touching
they need is this.
the children, the young people. The virus
Yeah,
is not so strong when it comes to younger people and healthy people, but then the older people, the older generation, and those with underlying medical conditions are the ones that unfortunately
yeah,
are dying from the virus.
yeah. We've got it in teenagers. But the first teenager, he got it from his dad, and he got sent to school.
Oh,
So they had to close the school down,
but I
and he
think,
tested positive.
but
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 nobody else did. Nobody else did, thank goodness.
yeah, good. But I'm sure he'll be okay because unless he has any health conditions, he's healthy. And
Yeah.
so a flu
But
vaccine will probably work for him to get back
yeah,
up to speed.
we're a self-sufficient country.
Yeah, sounds it.
I mean,
I'm glad that New Zealand hasn't panicked and gone to the supermarkets and grabbed everything.
oh well, there has been a little bit. You get long lines, and
Yeah,
all the shelves are empty. Like we go in when we went last, went in, all the bread was gone.
yeah,
But at the time of the day we go in, it's usually pretty empty anyway. But there has
yeah.
been, we've also noticed like tins of tomatoes disappeared, pasta disappeared, rice disappeared,
Well, as long as
right?
they can get them on back
Flour,
on the
sugar.
shelves, you know.
But that's it. That they work from 9 o'clock in the evening, all the way through the night, stocking up the shelves again. But now they're only letting so many people into the supermarket at a time.
Of course.
So we might have to queue up tomorrow because shopping day was today, but my husband was too tired.
Do you, if you go out, are you going to be wearing the mask or gloves or anything?
No, because I'll stay in the car. I'll just go out for the fresh air, if nothing
Yeah,
else.
good idea. Good idea.
Or we send the boys over to the dairy, or we can pop over. I don't mind popping over there. I have said we need to be wearing gloves and take wet wipes with us.
Yeah,
You know, the trolleys and stuff.
wipe everything.
But
Yeah,
yeah, other than that,
yeah, good. I'm really happy to hear how things are working out over there, and I do wish you all the best. Stay safe, stay indoors, and
you too.
thank you so much for joining me, Claire.